Thank you so much for inspiring me with your presence. But even before we get started, we have a special guest today, and the family sitting here is Grace Rupavilas Prabhu
Very good.
and his son Giriraj. Giriraj Prabhu. And we have and they're special for the fact for various reasons. We may have seen them in the congregation. Um, but as a family, my parents are also here, my brother and myself. They are special for the fact that their origin of their roots also go back to the same roots like us, that is Sri Sri Radharaj Bihari Mandir, Juhu Temple, Mumbai. And what's more interesting and fascinating is Prabhuji was one of the teachers of Bhakti Shastri for my parents and my brother.
Very good.
That was 2010, 2009. That's almost 16 years ago. Prabhuji, that time itself was a Bhakti Shastri teacher. So you can imagine for me, it's a very difficult task to be speaking in front of someone who taught my parents and who taught my brother Bhakti Shastri. I have been made to sit here. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for being here. Thank you so much. Oh, Martin also. What's your good name, Matidi? Punyavati Devi. Punyavati. Can we have Punyavati Matadi? Sister also. Sister also. Oh, okay. What's your good name? Gauri. Can we have background? Yeah, the whole family is here to bless us. We do this every Saturday, but yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time and again has emphasized that without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, containing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very difficult. So Vaishnavas have come all the way from Juhu, Mumbai, Radhara Spirit to bless us, to purify our discussions about the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you very much. So much. Because tomorrow is the start of the holy month of Purushottam, I thought we will start a little early today. That's what we had thought. I had thought of starting at 6 o'clock, but somehow old habits die hard. We are back to 7 o'clock. And don't ask me when we are going to stop. I want to stop early so that for those who are planning to go to Mangalarti tomorrow morning can sleep and get up on time. But let's see how it goes. So tomorrow is the auspicious month of Purushottam. And before I speak, we have a mic here. I would want if Prabhuji can speak 2 words about tomorrow's Purushottam, and if my father can also speak something.
Hare Krishna. First of all, I like to thank all the people who will be especially coming in US. And, you know, it's like you go in a desert, and in desert, you're wanting to have some water. And I can say, after coming here, I'm feeling that my thirst for that water is, quenched.
Hey, well,
As far as the mark is concerned, uh, many things are said about Adhik Maas, Purushottam Maas. It is said an extra month, but uh, what we practice in Kartik month, how Kartik month is very dear, hmm, that much you can say more than Kartik month. Sometimes they say that Adhik Maas is more dear to the Lord, and all the power has been empowered inside the Kartik month because Adhik Purushottam Maas. Whatever we do, whatever chanting, whatever reading, whatever seva we do, it's multifold benefit, multifold. So you should not uh, try to miss a day or miss a second and see that how much you can get more and more association in this advance, more and more reading. See, we are struggling for billions and billions of years. millions and millions of lifetime. This is the month where a discount month is given. Do get it in a multifold. Whatever you do, the spiritual work is multifold given. So devotees never miss about it. They try to see that they use their entire day or entire month in reading Bhagavatam, with Seva, multiple things. What we do in Kartik month, we should try to multiply more in the Adhik month. Hare Krishna.
Correct.
Big round of applause for Gokulas community. Hare Krishna. As it's first of all, it's very nostalgic for me personally to see him out of the blue coming from there. And I think after 7 years, it's like a reunion for us. And Prabhuji has very nicely explained the glories of Adhik Mas, Purushottam Mas, just starting tomorrow. The rarity of Purushottam month can be understood. Like we take certain things for granted in life. Uh, like every year in Kartik, we want to do some vrat and get some spiritual benefit, upliftment. The rarity of Kartik month is once in 12 months. So Purushottam month is 3 times more rare. I mean, imagine what is once in 12 months compared to once in 36 months. So Purushottam month comes once in 36 months. So it is very rare. And we get the same benefits, whatever little bit spiritual things we do, we get it multiplied, multiplication factor. So apart from what Prabhuji said, I just want to add something which my Siksha Guru, Sripad Mukundata Prabhu, head Pujari of Krishna Balram Temple, Vrindavan, has said today morning to me. He says that besides chanting more and reading all the Ashtakams and trying to do more seva, trying to be positive and seeing good in others, you may recite these two very important verses as recommended by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. The first one is Dhyaye Navagan Shyamam Dvibhujam Muradharam Lasakita Patam Ramyam Saradha Purushottamam. So the meaning is one should meditate upon Lord Purushottam, dark like a fresh rain cloud, two arms holding a flute, beautifully dressed in a shining yellow silk garment, together with Sri Radha. So the lovely form of Neela Madhav can be further, meditated upon. Sri Neela Madhav ki jai. They can meditate upon in the form of Purushottam. So we see him like this is already Purushottam form. The dark form is there, red cloud, and two arms holding a flute. Then the second verse that we should meditate upon is about Govardhan. Govardhan Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavam Ishadam Govindam Gopika Priyam. I offer my obeisances to Lord Govinda, who lifted Govardhan hill, who appears as a cowherd boy Gopal, who is the great festival and joy of Gokul, who is the Supreme Lord, and who is the beloved of all the gopis. So, Purushottam ki.
Yeah.
So, this is the glories, and we stay focused, prepare well, any possible. If you can render some go seva, that will be added uh, benefit and chant more rounds. So, that I think all of us are here to do that, getting up early, not missing any special Mangalartis and reading scriptures by Bhagavatam. So this will be very, very auspicious. So thank you very much, Arjun Sakha, and all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vancha Kalpata, Yascha, I seek prayers and blessings from all of you, the both of us, to the family, entire family. We seek, please pray for us also, so that we can get some spiritual upliftment by following certain enhanced practice of spirituality in this particular month. Haribol. I like to say two words about Prabhuji and Mataji. They have given two gems And Arjun said, you believe it or not? What they are giving the lectures, the quality lectures, and throughout India, everybody is completely fan. We can say they are more than fans. And believe it or not, I personally every day without fail listen to Amrita from last 3 4 years. Regularly I just that is so I feel very very proud of Prabhuji that and market especially. Another thing, small. How many of you like to go in India? In what are the ways which we can reach India? What are the ways which we can go to India? Flight. Which are the routes? Walking also somebody can go. Somebody can go on by boat also, sea also. Prabhupada came by boat. Huh? And deciding also. If you want, you can sit deciding boat. So what this Adhik Manas is like a missile. Short, production. Everybody wants fast. Quick president. This is what is Kali Yuga. So if you want result, if the destination is to go back to the spiritual world, these are the ones where whatever we do, multifold results we get. Multifold results. So we should, be very serious and take this month very serious and see if we have some shortcoming in this month. We should try to overcome that and use this month for more and more spiritual. Hare Krishna. Anyone is facing something? Okay. Okay. So can you somebody wants to say this?
Prabhu, it's their marriage anniversary.
Haribol.
Yeah, we are allowed Hare Krishna Mahamantra from them.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram.
Please bless us that we can serve Srila Prabhupada and all Acharyas and all Guru Maharaj very nice from us. Please send it to the Holy Guru. Hare Krishna.
Thank you once again for being here to continue our discussion of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita as given by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Srila Narottam Das Thakur explains in Prem Bhakti Chatrika, Krishnadas Kaviraj Rasika Bhakta Maj Jeho Leela Chaitanya Charit Gaur Govinda Leela Shudite Galai Shila Tahate Na Bhai Monachit. Narottam Das Thakur writes that who's Kaviraj Goswami? Krishnadas Kaviraj Rasika Bhakta Maj. Of all the Rasika Bhaktas that are there, those who are extremely sweet in their presentation of Krishna consciousness. Kaviraj, Narottam Das Thakur writes, Kaviraj Goswami is one among those personalities. Like you have Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. His commentaries are extremely sweet. Kaviraj Goswami is similar. The way he has put Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita together. Knowing the pastime is one, but putting that in a form wherein it's sweet to chant and meditate upon. Every verse that you pick, the pastime has been explained with 1 meter in a rhythmic format, and all this by a personality who was more than 80 years old in the land of Vrindavan. And the most interesting part is he heard all of that from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. He did not associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as such. It's not that Kaviraj Goswami lived with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das Goswami did. And Raghunath Das Goswami spoke about his interactions with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Radhakund. And Kaviraj Goswami was one among the audience. And sitting in the audience, whatever Das Goswami would speak, Kaviraj Goswami would make notes. That notes are nothing but the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita are the handwritten notes of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami from the live classes of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami happened 500 years ago on the banks of Radhakund. So it's hope giving for the fact that you and I have also not physically met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if Kaviraj Goswami can be empowered by the Brajavasis, by the Vaishnavas, by Radha Madan Mohan to write such an epic scripture, it is hope giving for you and I that wherever we are, wherever we are coming from, whatever our past is, if we are sincere enough, we can also be empowered by the Lord in ways that we can't even imagine. I remember one time His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was saying this at the Golden Eco Village. And Maharaj was mentioning this point of how you have personalities in our ISKCON movement who have not had a lot of association with Srila Prabhupada. Let's start with Srila Prabhupada. How much time did Srila Prabhupada associate with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Not a lot. There were some other god brothers of Prabhupada who got a lot of association, but our Abhay Babu, who had a Prayag pharmacy, he did not get a lot of association. He was a Grahastha. He was not in the forefront of the disciples until Saraswati Thakur was there on the planet. Right? But Prabhupada, by his sincerity, just like a rocket, he just shot up. But physical association, Bapu, Prabhupada did not have a lot. And I remember Srila Radhanath Maharaj was saying this. Because I asked him this question that is it mandatory to have physical association of one spiritual master to make advancement? And then to answer to that question, he started with Prabhupada. And then he said, how much time did Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj have association? I said, I'm not allowed. Then Radhanath Maharaj said, did Gopal Krishna Maharaj make advancement in bhakti? I said, yes, Maharaj. So then he said, how much time did Radha Govind Maharaj have association? I said, very less. Then he said, did Radha Govind Maharaj make advancement in bhakti? I said, yes. He was kind enough to not put his name because he himself did not have a lot of association with Srila Prabhupada, Srila Radhanath Maharaj. But then the way he put it was, these personalities in our movement did not get a lot of association with Srila Prabhupada, but still made advancement. We are here in Seattle. How about Hari Vilas Maharaj? How much time did he get with Srila Prabhupada? Very less. But did he make advancement? Of course. So it's a classic example that yes, Bapu is important, but that's not a barrier for anyone to make advancement. And I'm quoting him as it is. Pradhan said in that conversation, he said it this way. He said, one should be enthusiastic for the physical association of one's guru, but one should not be dependent on it. So if we get an opportunity, we should not sit at home. Like, for example, if our Gurudev is coming to our congregation, we don't sit at home. But just because he's not physically around all the time doesn't mean we lay back and say, oh, well, my Gurudev is not there. How can I make advancement? So he said, we should be enthusiastic for the physical association, but we should not be dependent on it. And who better than Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami? He didn't have any physical association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many of Mahaprabhu's associates, not all of them got association like the way Ramananda Rai Swarup Damodar got. Not all of them got the way Govinda and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got. There were many associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who did not get so much physical association, but all of them made advancement. All of them got Bhagavan. All of them got Krishna. So it is hope giving that wherever we are, like Brahmaji says, Thane Sthita Shuddhi Kata Tanuvak Manobir, wherever we are, whichever place we are in, including Lynnwood, if the desire is to serve Krishna and please Krishna, then Krishna becomes subservient to the love of the devotee. Like Hanumanji, Hanumanji's tail was set on fire. When our hand is set on fire, it's very difficult to think about Krishna. Hanumanji's tail was set on fire. And with that tail set on fire, he goes on to serve Prabhu Sri Ram. Hanumanji is exceptional. There is a reason why of the Navavida Bhakti, when it comes to Dasyam, servitude, we have Hanumanji's name in that. Because no one has the ability to serve the Supreme Lord as much as Hanumanji does. He is ready to go to any extreme. When the Supreme Lord wants to cross the ocean, he is ready to pick up mountains for the Lord. He's ready to pick up big boulders. When Lakshman is wounded, and when they don't know where to go, and Jambavan says, my dear Lord, if you go to the Himalayas, there is this herb that is there by which Lakshman will be all right. And Ram is thinking, who will go till there? Because in a battle, who can leave the battle and go there? And Hanumanji, without a blink of an eye, said, my dear Lord, I will do it for you. It's a battle. He could have just stayed back. But he says, my dear Lord, I will do it. And he flew all the way. And poor guy Hanuman was a monkey. When Jambavan told him, this is the herb that you have to get, he flew all the way. And when he reached that place, he was looking all around. Where can I find that herb? But being a monkey, he couldn't figure out where that herb is. He thought, why not I just pick up the whole mountain? When I go there, Jambavan can figure out which herb it is. Let me just pick up the whole mountain. And he doesn't think about anything. He just picks up the whole mountain and flies all the way for Lakshman. When he reaches there, Prabhu Sri Ram looks at him and says, my dear Hanuman, you two are like a beloved brother to me. I have Lakshman, but I have another brother called as Hanumanji. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is in the same mood of serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If not for Kaviraj Goswami, none of us would be here speaking about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, leave alone knowing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have been restricted only to Bengal, people from Bengal. Even now, we see if you go to Bengal, people of Bengal may know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but not around the world. But because of Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories have spread far and wide. And it is because of Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami. In fact, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, he says, there will be a day in the future. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, he says, there will be a day in the future when the whole world will have a desire to study and understand and learn Bengali so that they can study Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. And Prabhupada made the game even more easier. He gave everything in English. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the 1800s, he writes, there will be a time, आगे चलकर ऐसा समय आएगा कि पूरा देश विदेश will have the desire to study Bangla, study Bengali. But Prabhupada said, this is Kali Yuga. Kalau asmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo. People don't have time. It's a 9 to 5 job, but no one stops at 5 o'clock. It goes till 8, 9, 10. You're on call or on duty, whatever. You're working all the time. Where will you have the time to study Bengali and study Chaitanya Charitamrita? Not possible. Prabhupada made it very easy. He gave it in English language, which no acharya of any sampradaya ever thought of doing. No one gave word to word meaning of any scripture. You pick up Bhagavad Gita of any institution. No one does word to word. Prabhupada, in that ripe age of 70, would have sleepless nights to give word to word so that we understand what Krishna is saying. And he didn't restrict it just to Gita. He gave it for Bhagavatam. He gave it for Chaitanya Charitamrita. He gave it for all those books. And then there will be a question, what if you and I don't understand the scripture even after the translation, even after the word to word? Prabhupada then gave a Bhaktivedanta purport to add to it. So that there is no ambiguity in our hearts at what Krishna says. Because it's possible that if someone just reads the translation, what you may understand may be different from what I understand. But if Prabhupada writes a 3-page purport, like we see the Bhagavad, the very first verse, Prabhupada writes a purport for multiple pages. Janma Desyato, multiple pages he writes a purport. So that there's no ambiguity in anyone's heart what Krishna wants to convey. And no one did it. No one did it. I remember one Prabhupada disciple was saying this. Even if you combine acharyas of different sampradayas, still the work that they did would not equal the work that Srila Prabhupada did just in a span of 11 years. Prabhupada traveled the world multiple times with multiple heart attacks and not in Emirates. Prabhupada did, as Prabhu said, Prabhupada didn't come to America in Emirates, in Qatar Airways. He came to America in a cargo ship. It was a junkyard, not even an RMS Titanic. He came in a junkyard. He begged for a ticket from Sumati Morarji. Sumati Morarji, in her memory, she says, when Swamiji came to me, I looked at him and said, old man, what will you do in America? You will die. She says it in Hindi. She says, आप बूढ़े हैं, आप मर जाएंगे वहां पर, आपका वहां कोई नहीं है, आप वृंदावन में रहिए, यहाँ भजन कीजिए, यहाँ प्राण त्यागे, आप विदेश क्यों जाना चाहते हैं? And you know what Prabhupada tells? Srila Prabhupada looks at her and says, This is the only instruction my spiritual master ever gave me. Even if I have to depart this world, let me depart this world fulfilling the instruction that my Guru Maharaj gave me. यदि प्राण भी त्यागना है तो हम प्राण ऐसे समय पर त्यागेंगे जहां हम अपने गुरु का जो आदेश है उसका पालन करते हुए प्राण त्यागेंगे. I don't want to be sitting here just in Vrindavan and not fulfilling the instructions of my Guru Maharaj. He didn't have anything easy. He struggled for it. As we have read the Leela, Prabhupada came with about 40 rupees, which were about $6 to $7 back then. What is $7 now? What do you get in $7? Hardly anything. Prabhupada in the 60s came with $7. Didn't know whether to go left or right. Didn't have any contacts. No GPS, no Tesla car, nothing. There's no one. When we land in an airport, there are people, devotees come to pick us up from the airport. We have an Uber. Prabhupada struggled. He landed in Boston Harbor, Commonwealth Pier. He didn't know whether to go left or right. September time in Boston, for those who have been to the East Coast or coming from the East Coast, you know what I'm talking about. September in New York is freezing. Seattle is nothing. New York is very freezing. Prabhupada came with one cloth. There was nothing to cover his body. No phone, no contacts, no sweater, nothing. From a material perspective, he didn't have anything in his biodata to become successful. But he had one thing that no one ever had. His surrender at the lotus feet of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was convinced beyond doubt that my Guru Maharaj is giving me this instruction, he will empower me. How I don't know. He will empower me. Even before Prabhupada, there were some other god brothers of him who had been to the Western world. Some went to Germany, some went to UK, and they were funded by Saraswati Thakur. Srila Saraswati Thakur had funded his own disciples' visit to Germany and UK so that they can preach. And from that preaching, only one German came back. And Saraswati Thakur initiated him. And Prabhupada did not have any means, no support from anyone. Still, he created a home in which all of us can live together happily. You and I don't know each other. We just meet Saturdays. We don't have any blood relation. But still, when we look at each other, we feel more than a family. The moment you see a tilak and kanchi, ISKCON, we feel happy. Where would you go? ISKCON? Ah, ghar aa gaye. Right? I've seen devotees also when they have a traveling job. They may go for work, etc. But the first thing that they see is wherever they're going, is there an ISKCON temple there? Because you feel happy if there's an ISKCON temple, your stay is arranged, your prasadam is arranged, no headache for onion garlic tea, coffee, nothing. Devotees have a sambhali. Right? I remember my father was saying one time that he was for his work, he was going to Russia, to Moscow. And probably that was the first time he was traveling and he was having an interaction with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And when Maharaj inquired, Maharaj said, "Oh, if you're going to Moscow, my disciple is there, temple president. He will take care. You just reach out to him, he will take care." And my father said, "No, Maharaj, it's fine. We will do it." Maharaj said, "No, my disciple is there, he will take care." And even before my father could call that disciple of Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj had already called him and informed that my father is going to call him. So much love. So much love. इतना प्यार तो कभी कभी परिवार में भी नहीं दिखता. Right? How much devotees take care. Every time I come here, many of you all may not know, every time I come here, seldom do I bring my car. It's always devotees who pick me up, and primarily it's Nanda Maharaj Prabhu and Neelachal Chandra Prabhu. They pick me up, they drop me. And it's not a small distance, it's 30 miles. That's about 50 kilometers. And they do it selflessly. I don't even ask. Prabhuji himself will say, "Prabhuji, do you want to ride?" I will shamelessly, I will say yes, and he will say, "Okay, Prabhuji, I will come." Devotees are so kind that they are ready to pick us up, they're ready to drop us, they're ready to give us prasadam. Right? So much love. And all of that love is coming from the ocean of love that is Srila Prabhupada, who gave everything selfless to the whole world, not holding back anything. And he is getting it from the ocean like personality Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source. From that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Acharyas of Sampradaya get it. From the Acharyas, our Gurudevs get it. And from our Gurudevs, devotees get it. Selflessly doing good to others without expecting anything in return. Anya Abhilashitam Shuddhi. So having said this, we continue our journey of what Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is selflessly given. At this point, we are with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the holy land of Jagannath Puri. The Rath Yatra has been going on. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was surrounded with various associates like Gopinath Acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Kashishwar Pandit, Rai Ramananda, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Govinda, many others. But one important personality who has been desperate to get the mercy and the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Maharaj Pratap Rudra has tried everything possible, but somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not ready to give mercy. Prabodhan Saraswati says, Vishwam Gaura Rasen Bhaktam Sparshopi Mama Nam Bhaved. Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi, Vanchitosmi Na Samshay. Prabodhan Saraswati says, my dear Lord, Vishwam Gaura Rasen Bhaktam. You came down to this world to bless the whole world with Krishna Prema. But Sparshopi Mama Na Bhaved. It did not even touch one drop into me. Hey Prabhu, आप इस जगत में आए क्यों? So that you can give Krishna Prema to everyone. But my dear Lord, you fooled me. You gave it to everyone, but you did not give it to me. Vanchitosmi, 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 na samshay. हम वंचित रह गए प्रभु, हम वंचित रह गए, हम वंचित रह गए. आप अपना प्रेम सबको प्रदान किए, हमें भूल गया. You forgot me, my dear Lord. It's not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgot Prabodhan Saraswati. Mahaprabhu blessed Prabodhan Saraswati so much so that he wrote Chaitanya Chandramrita, he wrote Vrindavan Mahimamrita, he wrote Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, he wrote so many books. Who is Prabodhananda Saraswati? Prabodhananda Saraswati is Tunga Vidya Sakhi of the spiritual world. Radha Madhav is Ashta Sakhis. Right? One of them is Tunga Vidya Sakhi. Tunga Vidya Sakhi comes down as Prabodhananda Saraswati, one of the uncles of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And he says, my dear Lord, you did not bless me. So here we see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there in Jagannath Puri. And the purpose of the Rath Yatra is, you see, Lord Jagannath resides in a very grand and a very opulent way. And what is the destination? Rath Yatra is not merely a chariot festival. It is the ecstatic journey of bringing the Lord back to the sweet, intimate forest of Sri Vrindavan Dham. As we mentioned earlier, it's not just pulling ropes, but the purpose of those pulling ropes is Jagannath is not different from Krishna. And being in the mood of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are trying to get Jagannath back to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Letting Jagannath know that, my dear Lord, you have been away from Vrindavan for a very long time. But now it is time to come back to Braj. Prabhu, bahut samay ho gaya. My dear Lord, you had mentioned to the Brajvasis that you will come back in one day. Then you said, I will come back day after tomorrow. In Vrindavan Dham, there is one village called as Parso, where Krishna promised, I will come Parso. तो गांव का नाम ही पड़ गया परसों. And the Brajvasis were waiting when Krishna will come. One day turn 2 days, 2 days turn 3 days. Lo and behold, Krishna never came back. There's one friend of Krishna. He would always sit and eat with Krishna. Sakha. Sakhadati iti Sakha. That personality with whom you sit down and eat is Sakha. He would sit down and eat with Krishna. And this was the time when Akrura had come to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So Krishna, when Akrura had come, this friend, he said, my dear Krishna, I will wait for you. Whenever you come back, then I will eat because we have Sakha. Krishna said, no, you should continue. He said, no, till now we have always eaten together. Let's not break it. I will wait for you. Krishna said, it's possible. I will come back in the evening. The friend said, yes, my dear Krishna, I will wait. It's possible I can come back tomorrow. The friend said, Krishna, I will wait for you. We do one Pandav Nijal Ekadashi. And there is Nayanam Galadashru Dharaya Vadanam. There is all symptoms, right? We wait when the next day Parayan is there and we get each. This friend said, my dear Krishna, I will wait. Krishna said, it's possible I will come back also day after tomorrow. He said, Krishna, I will wait. Krishna said, it's possible I will come back after 1 week. His friend said, Krishna, I will wait for you. Because we are Sakha, I will wait for you. Krishna said, it's possible I will come back after 1 month. Krishna, his friend said, Krishna, I will wait for you. We are friends, and friends means we have a promise. I will wait for you. Krishna said, it's possible I will come back after 6 months. His friend said, Krishna, I will still wait for you. Then Krishna said, it's possible I may come back after 1 year. This friend, he said, Krishna, I will still wait for you. Then finally Krishna put a thunderbolt on his heart and said, it's possible I may never come back. And this friend had tears flowing from his eyes. He looked at Krishna and said, Krishna, you started by saying evening, then you said tomorrow, then you said day after, and then became a month and 6 months and then a year. Until that time, Krishna, it was okay. Now you're saying you will never come back? Krishna, what wrong did I do? If there is anything wrong that I can, you let me know. I will rectify. But Krishna, how can I live without you? हमने ऐसा कौन सा पाप किया कि हम आप हमें छोड़कर जा रहे हैं? What wrong has the Brajavasis done that Krishna, you're leaving all of us? And Krishna said, no, you've not done anything wrong. His friend said, then why are you leaving us? Why are you going to Mathura? What is there in Mathura that is not there in Vrindavan? Krishna had no answer. He who can speak the 700 verses of Gita to dispel the doubt of Arjuna gets bowled out by the love of the Brajavasis. There is a reason why Krishna loves Brajavasis very much. And this friend, he says, Krishna, I will still wait for you. Whenever you will come back, I will wait for you. If you do Govardhan Parikrama, this friend is still waiting for Krishna. He's called as Puchirika Lukta Baba. When you do your Govardhan Parikrama, at halfway point there's a temple called Puchirika Lukta. He's Krishna's friend who's still waiting. ये आशा है हृदय में कि भगवान कब लौटेंगे? When will my friend come back? He promised me, when will he come back? And that friend is still waiting, to the extent Brajavasi say he has been waiting for the last 5,000 years so much so that he has been immortalized. His body has become bricks. He has waited for Krishna so long that his body has been immortalized. That is the Vrindavan that Rath Yatra demonstrates. It is not just pulling the rope, but it is pulling that rope and beseeching Krishna and requesting Krishna, my dear Krishna. You are Swatantra, you're Swarat, as Mahanutan explains. I have no ability to get you to Vrindavan. But if you so desire, if you want to come to Vrindavan, then I can assist you, my dear Lord. Please come to Vrindavan. So that Rath Yatra is an expression of the heart to beseech and request and beg and lament and fall at the feet of Krishna to get Krishna back to Vrindavan, like Puchrika Lota Baba, who's begging Krishna to come back to Braj. Maharaj Pratap, about whom we have been discussing, it's the tradition in Jagannath Puri that whenever there is Rath Yatra, it is the king who sweeps. And Maharaj Pratap, he stepped down to sweep the whole road for Jagannath. And it's quite a lot because you don't find prime ministers and presidents sweeping the street on the floor on the road. If they were doing, they would have had 10 cameras around so that it comes on Facebook, it comes on Instagram, and they can get views. Right? Politics is very interesting. I've seen videos on Instagram where you have politicians in India where they are collecting trash from the ocean shore, right? And they're collecting trash, and more than the number of trash will be the number of cameras. The number of cameras will be more than the trash. Ek uthayenge and they show it to all the cameras because the purpose is not removing trash. The purpose is how with this act I can get more votes for the upcoming election. But Maharaj Pratap did not have cameras. There was no YouTube live when he was cleaning. Nothing. He was not doing for an election. He was already the king. What more does he need? He has all the wealth. He was doing it only for Bhagavan. He was only doing it for Jagannath. What he was doing was sincere service. Pratap Rudra performs the menial service of sweeping the road for Lord Jagannath. And it is this sincere service that attracts the heart of Krishna. Sincere loving service to Krishna, even if little, never goes in vain. It wins the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We see service means when our desires are one with the Lord's desires. That is seva. When our desires are not one with the Lord's desires, that is no longer seva, it is selfishness. When Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra Bhagavan was going to Lanka to fight the battle, Hanumanji was practically his right hand. He was helping in everything possible. But in the next age, when Sri Ram came as Krishna, when Ram came with an upgraded software, he came as Krishna Bhagavan. At that time, you see, where is Hanuman in the picture? Hanuman is there on the flag of the chariot of Arjuna. Krishna speaks the 700 verses of the Gita to Arjuna. Ram never spoke any verses to Hanuman. He didn't have to convince Hanuman to fight. But for Arjuna, Krishna had to convince Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, you have to fight, this is your dharma. Ram never did that for Hanuman. So when Hanuman was there at the flag, Hanuman from the flag did not say, my dear Lord, I did not trouble you so much. I fought immediately. He is making you speak the 700 verses of Gita. My dear Lord, let Arjuna sit to the side. Let me only fight. Hanuman did not say that. Even though Hanuman was powerful enough to sweep the whole Kaurava army, he decided to align with the desire of the Lord by being on the flag of Arjuna and let Arjuna be in the limelight. This is service. This is seva. When our desires are one with the Lord's desires, Hanumanji's desire was one with the Lord's desire. When Ram wanted him to fight, he fought. When Krishna wanted him to be on the flag, he was on the flag. Which means seva doesn't necessarily mean we take limelight services. Seva means we take services that please the Supreme Lord. Whatever is in line with the happiness of the Supreme Lord. It can be kirtan, it can be preaching, it can be menial services like pot washing, it can be mopping the floor of the temple, any of those services. Because in the eyes of Krishna, all these services are absolute. There is no high seva, there is no lower seva. A pot washer is as glorious as a pujari. Because both are doing it for Krishna. So Maharaj Pratap Rudra takes the menial service of sweeping the floor. Now it's very interesting that as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing during the Rath Yatra for hours and hours and hours together, looking at Jagannath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started chanting different verses. One of the verses he chanted was the last verse of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Janmavado Yaduvara Parisat Sway Dorvirasyanna Dharmam Stirachara Brijinandina Susmita Shri Mukhena Vrajapura Manitanam Vardayan Kamadevam. Shukadev Goswami chants this verse and ends the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. Canto 10, chapter 90, text 48 Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted these verses when he was looking at Jagannath. So much so that Kaviraj Goswami says Mahaprabhu was so enamored by the beauty of Jagannath. He was so choked looking at Jagannath, he couldn't even call out to Jagannath. How effortlessly we say Jagannath? Very easily, right? Very easily we say Jagannath. Mahaprabhu, being Jagannath himself, was not able to call out his own name. Is there anyone in this room who finds it difficult to call their own name? No. Do you have to do rehearsals, practice to remember your own name? Do you have to make slides to remember your own name? No. Anytime your name is asked, you can spell your name because that's your identity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being not different from Jagannath, when he looked at Jagannath, he couldn't even say the word Jagannath. Kaviraj Goswami writes, he was choking to the extent he was saying Jagaga, Jagaga, Jagaga. He uses verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita to say that Mahaprabhu, like Radharani, became so mad looking at Jagannath that he didn't know what is coming out from his mouth. He was just happy looking at the big Chakadola, the big eyes of Jagannath. He couldn't even say Jagannath. That which we say very easily, Jagannath. The Lord, who is not different from Jagannath, is finding it difficult to chant his own name. So finally, our Mahaprabhu, after dancing for 8 to 9 hours, he gets tired. He, who's the source of all strength. In the Gita, Bhagavan says, Balam Balavatam Chaham Kamaraga Vivarjitam Dharma Viruddha Bhuteshu Kamosmi Bharatarshava. Bhagavan in the Gita, he says, Balam Balavatam Chaham. I am the strength in those who have strength. If someone is strong, that strength is coming from the all strong Bhagavan Sri Krishna. If someone is intelligent, that intelligence comes from the all intelligent Bhagavan Sri Krishna. If someone is famous, it is Krishna who shared the portion of his fame with that person. And that's how the person becomes famous. He who is all strong, who's the source of all strength, now in Gauralina becomes tired. He who gives strength to everyone, now he's tired. After 8 hours of dancing, Mahaprabhu decides to go to the nearby Jagannath Vallabh garden and take rest. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had predicted this will happen. The Lord's associates are very interesting. उनको पता है क्या आने वाला. He knew this is going to come, and he gives a prior notification to Maharaj Pratap Rudra. During the Rath Yatra, he will dance, he will get choked, he will get tired, he will go to the garden, he will take rest in that garden. When he is there in the garden, he will be blanked out. He will not know who he is because he will be in the mood of Radharani. That's the time you should go to the garden to get his mercy. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya knew this is going to happen. Exactly the same thing happened. Mahaprabhu was in the garden, he's tired, and Mahaprabhu is resting. And Kaviraj Goswami says, as Mahaprabhu is resting, there is gentle breeze that's flowing. Cuckoos are singing. The trees looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're swaying from one end to another end. The branches are coming forward to give shade to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even the forest is supporting Mahaprabhu in his pastimes. Srila Prabhupada was in Paris, and you've heard this from his own Harivilas Maharaj. Prabhupada was in Paris 1975. And on the last day, Prabhupada was there on a morning walk. And as Prabhupada was walking, at one point Prabhupada stops, puts his cane down to the ground firmly, and Prabhupada with his eyes closed are swaying. Prabhupada is swaying from one end to another. And Harivilas Maharaj's memory says, we were standing back and we were thinking, what is the Bhaktivedanta purport of this? What is Prabhupada experiencing? Because Prabhupada is in Paris, in France, and Prabhupada is swaying. And finally, Prabhupada opened his eyes, and Prabhupada said, this breeze reminds me of the breeze of Vrindavan. Where is Prabhupada? Paris. Where is the heart? Vrindavan. Which means that we can be in Lynnwood but still be in Vrindavan. We can be in Seattle, still be in Vrindavan. We can be in Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, whatever, and still be in Vrindavan. And on the flip side, we can be in Vrindavan but not be in Vrindavan. Because we are where our mind is. If we are in Vrindavan and we are thinking about Mumbai, then we are really not in Vrindavan. Either Prabhu would say, if you are in Vrindavan and thinking about Bollywood, we are thinking about IPL or whatever. While being physically in Vrindavan, we are really not in Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. It is where our mind is. And Prabhupada's heart and mind was always in Sri Vrindavan, even though he was externally traveling. And now when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was tired and is taking rest, Maharaj Prataparudra comes there. And he's disguised. He comes as a sadhu. He doesn't come as a king. He comes as a sadhu, very humble, like a mendicant. And he starts massaging the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Mahaprabhu was tired, he's massaging the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as he's massaging, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had also told him, while you're massaging, chant some verses that he will like. So already it's full planning is done. Devotees are such, they will get the mercy of the Lord. They will inspire others also to get the mercy of the Lord. That is Vaishnava. The Bhagavatam 8 chapter explains that when the Samudra Manthan pastime happened and when the nectar came out, the demons and the devatas had a tug of war, so to say. Who will get it? Whether the devatas will get it, whether the demons will get it. The demons were way too aggressive to want to get the nectar. And Bhagavatam 8:10 explains the demons, they say, aham purvam natvam iti prabhu. That me first, aham purvam, natvam. हमें प्राप्त होना चाहिए आपको मिले ना मिले हम उसे फर्क नहीं है I should get nectar you get you don't get I don't care I should get nectar this is demon mentality I want it I don't care whether you get it or not best is you should not even get it well let's come to the 10th canto in the 10th canto have you ever seen the BPT photo where Krishna is running with Balaram in the forest and all the friends are running from behind trying to catch him a BPT photo Krishna is running with a cow Balaram ji other hand, and all the friends are trying to catch. It comes from the words of Bhagavatam. And Shukadev Goswami says, Yadi duram gata Krishna vana shobhikshana aham purvam iti samsprishya remine. What was common? The third line. Aham purvam. But what is Shukadev Goswami saying? Yadi duram gata Krishna. If Krishna goes very far, for what? Vana shobhikshana to see the forest, to play in the forest. Then what will we do? Aham purvam. That we will go first. But iti samsprishya in my attempt of going and being with Krishna first, I will also inspire you to come along with me. This is Braj mentality. This is Brajabasi. This is Vaishnav. What was the demon mentality? हमें चाहिए आपको मिले ना मिले हमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता हमें अमृत चाहिए but a Vaishnav mentality, a Braj mentality is I want to be with Krishna, but I will also inspire you and encourage you and motivate you and hold your hand and come and take you to be with Krishna. This is what Prabhupada did. He is there with Krishna, but he held the hand of everyone, the hippies, and took them to the lotus feet of Krishna and made them happy. Prabhupada is the best example of how Brajavasi should be. Completely selfless and compassionate to give Krishna to everyone else. So now when he is massaging, he decides to chant a verse. And he decides to chant the Gopi Geet from the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. As Maharaj Bhagatullah is massaging, he chants Jayati Terikam Janmana Praja Shayata Indira Shashwata Daita Krishyatam Dikshudabaka Tvaitasava Swamishinvate. As he's massaging, he's chanting, and finally comes to the celebrated verse of the Gopi Gita. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi veritam karma shabam shravana mangalam श्रीमदातातम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति भूरिदा जना. As he's chanting, when Mahaprabhu hears this words, Mahaprabhu gets up and says, Bhurida, Bhurida, Bhurida. Bhurida means the most magnanimous, the most munificent. Mahaprabhu gets up and embraces Maharaj Prataparudra. But Mahaprabhu doesn't know he is Maharaj Prataparudra. Just by hearing Bhagavata, Mahaprabhu becomes so mad and intoxicated, he embraces him and says, Bhurida, Bhurida, you are the most munificent, you are the most magnanimous. Up until now, Mahaprabhu would look at Prataparudra and said, you're Vishayi, you're Raja, I don't want to meet you. But now when he's chanting Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu embraces him and says, where were you all the time? Maharaj Pratap was thinking, my dear, but I was here only. You were not accepting, but I was here. Mahaprabhu says, Bhurida, then embraces him. Shunite, Shunite, Prabhu, Santosha Apar. Bala, Bala, Bale, Prabhu, Bale, Bar, Bar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard it, Shunite, Shunite, Prabhu, Santosha Apar. Mahaprabhu loved every verse of the Gopi Gita, every verse of Bhagavatam so much. He looked at him and said, Bale, 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 Prabhu, Bale, Bar, Bar. Chant, 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 don't stop. Maharaj Pratap will continue. Supreme Lord loved the verses of Bhagavatam so much. And by the verses of Bhagavatam, Maharaj Pratap Rudraja ended up getting the embrace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks at him and says, Who are you? I don't think I've met you before. Who are you? And Maharaj Pratap Rudraja doesn't say, My dear Lord, I am the king. I am Maharaj. He doesn't say anything. When Maharaj Pratap Rudraja is asked, Who are you? Maharaj Pratap Rudraja says, Raja kahe ami tomar dasera nudas. Bhrityera bhritya karo ai mora ash. He says, Raja kahe ami tomar dasera nudas. My dear Lord, you don't have to know my name. I am the servant of your servant. Bhrityera bhritya karo ai mora ash. My only desire is whenever you count your servant, please count me also. I am the servant of your servant of your servant. The same principle of Gopi Bharatur Padakamayor, Das, Das, Das. Maharaj Pratap says, Raja kahe ami tomar dasera nudas. Bhrityera bhritya karo ai mora ash. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hears this, my goodness, he was already ecstatic. But now when he sees the simplicity of Maharaj Pratap, he embraces him tightly and showers his mercy on Maharaj Pratap. As all this is going on, outside the garden, the massive Rath stands frozen. Now the Rath doesn't move. Another pastime of the Supreme Lord. Up until now, Rath was moving. Now, Rath is not moving at all. Despite the immense physical strength of King Pratap Putra's wrestlers and grand elephants, the chariot refuses to move even a single inch. And we see the same thing happened when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared at the symbol. The Rath stopped. And then the young Saraswati Thakur Vimal Prasad was put as an offering at the lotus feet of Jagannath. And finally, when the goblet fell and blessed Saraswati Thakur, the Rath decided to move ahead. So similarly here, the Rath is just not moving. And what will you do? There are, you see those wrestlers, so powerful. Of course, it's AI generated, but they are very, very powerful. And you have elephants, and all of them are trying, and the Rath is not moving. Why? Because the Lord is Swarat. He's independent. If he wants to move, he will move. If he doesn't want to move, he will not move. Now the Rath is not moving. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets up and he gives the ropes of the chariot to his associates. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes behind the Rath and with his head very effortlessly touches the head to the chariot and just pushes a bit, and the chariot starts moving. That chariot which elephants and powerful wrestlers could not move, Mahaprabhu with his head, he just he touched his head and the Rath started moving. And it seemed as if the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were pulling the Rath. So the Lord did it, but gave the credit to his associates. He didn't take the credit. भगवान स्वयं किए, लेकिन जो श्रेय है अपने भक्तों को दे दिए. That it is because of my associates, it is because of their purity and their piety that the Rath is moving. And when the Rath moved, all the devotees started chanting, Jai Jagannath!
Jai
Jai Jagannath!
Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath!
Jai Jagannath.
भगवान श्री जगन्नाथ प्रभु की
Jai.
And now, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, as we said, as he's resting in the gardens for 9 days, Lord Chaitanya's feelings of intense separation subside, surrounded by jubilant trees, chirping birds, and cool breezes. He feels that Lord Krishna has finally returned to Sri Vrindavan. Now the Lord's associates also have sports. We play sports, cricket, soccer. What's your favorite sport? Soccer. What's yours? Basketball. Swimming. Oh, did you see this and this swimming? Different sports, right? The Lord also loves sports. His associates also love sports. And Indradyumna Sarovar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, they started playing with each other. They would have water sports. Chaitanya Bhagavata also explains they would have water sports. And these water sports would be such two would pair with each other, and inside water they were punching and fist fighting each other. Inside water. Now they're associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But sometimes they get so ecstatic that they forget everything and they fight. The Lord and his devotees dive into blissful pastimes, splashing water, imitating and croaking of frogs, and engaging in beautiful mock battles. The solemnity of the world is entirely forgotten in the pure joy of such. Vrindavan is a land where even God forgets he's God. What is big of associates? When Bhagavan himself forgets he's Bhagavan, भक्त तो भूलेगी वो भूल ही गए कि हम कहाँ है क्या करना है. They were playing in the waters like small children play. And this playing is such, दो जन का fighting है. Advait Acharya fights with Nityananda Prabhu. Mind you, they're God brothers. God brothers inside water are fighting and punching each other. Right? Swarup Damodar and Pondrik Vidyanidhi inside water are punching and fighting each other. Murari Gupta and Vasudev Datta. Srivas and Kadadhar. Raghav Pandit, Vakreshwar Pandit. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Rai. Welcome to Gaur Leela. These are the same associates to whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would speak philosophy. रूप शिक्षा सनातन शिक्षा सार्वभौम भट्टाचार्य शिक्षा एक्सेट्रा. अब सब बच्चे बन गए कि पानी में आ गए हम सब भूल गए like small children. Nostalgia. They are playing water. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sees this, he calls Gopinath Acharya. And he tells Gopinath Acharya, what is all this? My associates like small children are playing in water. Ask them to come out. And Gopinath Acharya says, my dear Lord, they learned this from you only. When you were in Vrindavan, you forgot what all you did. You would hold the tail of the calf and you would be dragged in Vrindavan and you got it and ghasit around. You knew how to hold the tail but don't know how to leave. One time Krishna was so mischievous. Mother Yashoda had kept a pot of butter on top. And Krishna's height was very small. His height would not reach the butter pot. Krishna did the unthinkable. The calf that had just born, Govinda, Hare Krishna Das, like that. The calf that had just born, Krishna brought that calf, tied it to the side, exactly so that the calf is beneath the pot, climbed on the calf and started stealing the butter pot. Mother Yashoda said, my goodness, where did you learn all this? That calf is barely born. It may not be able to take the strength. It may not have strength in its back. You have so much intelligence to bring the calf, tie it exactly down below and stand on it. And then steal. Kaha se seeking. Your father is the king of Braj. I am the queen of Braj. Where did you learn to steal? That is Vrindavan Dham. Some things have no answer. Krishna has forgotten he's Bhagavan. He becomes like a small child. Just like the way small children do. In fact, Krishna is more mischievous. Small children don't go to the neighbors and steal. Krishna does that. And Krishna has no remorse. And then Krishna lies that he didn't steal. There will be butter all over his face. And confidently you will say, my dear Maya, I did not eat butter. There will be mud in his mouth. And Mother Yashoda will say, Lala, muh khodo apna. Can you open your mouth? And as Maya is asking, Krishna is trying to swallow, he's trying to gulp that mud. And when he has gulped and swallowed the whole mud, Krishna opens the mouth and say, look, there's no mud. My friends, they're all lying. सब झूठ बोलते हैं. सब झूठे हैं एक नंबर के. नाहम भक्षितवान अम्बे सर्वे मिथ्याभि संशय. सब झूठे हैं. They're all lying that I ate, but chi, look, do you see any much? No. Mother Yashoda said, all of them are lying. Your brother is also saying that you're eating mud. He's also lying. Krishna says, oh, he lies the most. don't don't think Balaram is very innocent. You don't know him. He lies so much. He takes advantage that he's my older brother. And Krishna has all his cards that he puts in front of Mother Yashoda to convince Mother Yashoda that he has not eaten butter. He has not eaten mud. So when the Lord himself does it, you can expect the devotees also. They're in water, face deep, and they're fighting and punching each other. So Gopinath Acharya at that time says, my dear Lord, one drop of the great ocean of your mercy has swelled up upon them. These two gentlemen are like hills. Who to he's referring to? He's referring to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Rai. He's saying that Ramananda Rai and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they're like small hills. And your mercy is like a huge mountain. They will be swayed away by your mercy. My dear Lord, you are asking them to stop, but you yourself have showered mercy on them. And this is the result of your mercy. आप उन पर कृपा प्रदान किए हैं इसीलिए वो they're enjoying the waters of Indradumna Sarovar. Watching the playful exuberance of Sarvabhauma and Ramananda Rai, Sri Chaitanya smiles. The Lord's mercy effortlessly converts grave, staunch scholars into pure devotees, allowing them to taste the rare nectar of Krishna Prema. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki
Yeah.
Sri Radharani Madhava ki Sri Prabhupada ki Jai Gaura Premanande. We will stop here, even though there are a few things I wanted to speak after this, but in the interest of time, and considering tomorrow's Purushottam Mass, many of us will want to get up early, maybe go to temple, etc. So we can end a little early so that we can sleep on time, so that we can get up on time tomorrow. Just in addition to what Prabhu said about Purushottam Mass, tomorrow is a very, very important beginning of a very important month where our sadhana multiplies thousands of times. Just like Kartik is dear to Sri Radha, Purushottam is very dear to Krishna. Apart from the two verses that were recited, we can memorize and we can chant that, but we can also take the vow of getting up early in the morning in Brahma Muhurta preferably. These 30 days can be a make or break. One can make rapid advancement in Krishna consciousness if one follows sincerely this month of Purushottam. Krishna doesn't have to expand himself as the month. He does it so that you and I can take advantage. One can increase their chanting. One can get up early in the morning in Brahma Muhurta. One can hear about Krishna. One can honor Krishna Prasadam and keep it simple if possible. I was reading one article where it was written, our bhojan and shayan should be limited and our bhajan should be unlimited. Our bhojan, which is prasad, limited. As much as possible, less of fancy items and keeping it as simple as possible. And shayan, sleeping as little as possible. Whatever works for our body, you know the body best, whatever works for the body, but trying to maximize our sadhana, trying to maximize our bhajan. And also importantly, trying to chant ashtakams. Ashtakams in glorification of Krishna, like Chaurashtakam that we chant, Nanda Nanda Ashtakam that glorifies Krishna, and also Ashtakams that give happiness and pleasure to the heart of Krishna, like Radhika Ashtakam, Radha Kripa Kataksha, etc. Why? Because Radharani gives the pleasure and happiness to the heart of Krishna. She is the Radhini Shakti. She is the happiness potency of Krishna. So verses and Ashtakams in the glorification of Krishna, and verses and Ashtakams for the happiness and pleasure of Sri Krishna. In this way, we hope and pray. Let's pray for each other that may our Purushottam Mass, whatever vrat we are going to take, may we be able to follow that all 30 days with the same sincerity that we will have from tomorrow up until the 30th day. Because most often what it happens is it's like the 1st January gym membership. New year, everyone takes a gym resolution. अगले साल जिम जाएंगे. First January, everyone is there. By the time it's first February, Gauri Premanande. No one is there, right? So let's keep the sadhana and keep the vrat such that we can do in the next 30 days. Whatever is best in our ability to attract and please the heart of Krishna. Please pray for me also so that I can also whatever I try to attend, I can fulfill. And let's pray for each other as a family, as a congregation, so that combined unanimously we can do our vrat and please the heart of Shri Radha Neelamata. Shri Radha Neelamata Bhagavan ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaura Premanande. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So from tomorrow morning, from 6:30 in the morning, I'm going to do book reading for all 30 days. It'll be the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We will read and I will try to speak something on that. So maybe 45 minutes to an hour every day in the morning, 6:30. Um, if you're inspired, you can do. Hare Krishna. Just do this, bro. I just do 5 minutes. Yes, right. You sing, bro? I can sing. You can sing. Yeah, I can. लंबा वाला नाम विष्णु पदाय विष्णु श्रीमते Nama Saraswati Devi Gaurava Vajrayati Devi Jayati Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Shri Gada Srivasa Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Shri Gada Srivasa Jaya
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Jaya
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
His grace, Arjun Sakha Prabhu ki. Hari Hari. Yeah.